Well, good morning. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. I'm a socialist, so hey, I just want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. And I'm not necessarily discombobulated. I didn't start when I wanted, so I'm starting as soon as I can. Morning. Sorry about that. I was live there for a moment, and then we went offline, and we're back. So, yeah, notify everybody. So, if this is the second notification you've got that I'm live, I'm sorry. What I should be doing, first, hey, my name is Jared. You can find me on Blue Sky. So, you won't find me on Twitter anymore. Um, I was only really ever lurking, right? But I post show announcements, right? So, we would be honored if you would join us. Hey, Sonic. Hey, hey. Lots of the things that Donald Trump has done are illegal and won't actually happen. What a horrible stain on America. It's ironic that he shits himself. It's kind of funny they told you be aware the grifters and the fucking welfare babies, and it's a bunch of drugged out cis males that are absolutely fucking thriving off of government subsidy. Dead ass. Did you see what JD said? Oh my god. Podcast, news, politics. Jesus. First of all, why would the Secret Service raid a school? Make that make sense. Good to go. And then it was fucking ICE getting rebuked. It's because people have laid down my whole life and let these fucking Republicans do whatever the fuck they want. And as a result, it brings out all the fucking violent motherfuckers who just happen to have a badge on. And school teachers don't get paid enough to not fight a cop. That's for fucking sure. They'll fight a security guard. I give a shit. I'll fight a ICE agent. What the fuck are you talking about? Remember how people used to disrespect the Department of Homeland Security? Yeah, it was a fucking lie. Okay. So hey, what I do every day live, okay? I go on to Blue Sky and I post a link to the show. I encourage you to do that. and then we're on Clapper. So you can listen to the show live. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Okay. And so if you'd like, yeah, Danielle, please do. Yeah, I want to make sure that people understand that if you've been listening to my show for any amount of time, I've been saying Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Elon Musk, Viktor Orban, Benjamin Netanyahu are all committing a slew of ICC crimes, and then they're just trying to delegitimize the ICC. So they're trying to narrow the ICC's jurisdiction. I just want to remind you, Interpol. Oh shit. Oh shit. I still think the 28th is going to be a day. Canada releases a election interference. Sorry, I was having to listen to myself talk. There's nothing worse. Glad to be here. Just clocking in. So, yo, I gotta vent. You gotta let me vent. Okay. So I often get on here and just fucking go. We do full show and whatever. But every now and then I gotta fucking vent. Okay. Yo, did you like that shit? Did you like fucking Gavin Newsom? Did you like Gavin Newsom giving him the fucking knife hand? All right, so check this out. I got a vent. Yesterday was the roughest day for me professionally, not in terms of like the results. Okay, so keep this in mind, and my wife can attest. Okay, my wife can attest. Like I don't fuck around. Like if you put me in a room and tell me to take a test, I'm beating that test's ass. Okay? You tell me I got to do a phone call and I got to score in this range or I could lose my fucking job, I'm beating that call's ass. Okay? Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. And it's my fault. I want to make sure everyone knows it's my fault. This is my fault. Oh shit. All week long, my trainer has been telling me, hey, you got to do this compliance shit before the test goes live on Friday. And we're not doing the test on Friday until like almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, by the way, so hear this out. The test I took yesterday for compliance was 2 tests. One was video, one was a 100 question multiple choice test. Okay? And I hadn't done the fucking compliance work. So this meant that yesterday when I clocked into work, I had to immediately start doing the fucking compliance work in addition to whatever the last lesson was today. And then essentially uh go on break, and then we're gonna start doing these calls. We're gonna do role playing. Basically, what we should have done was spend a lot of time role playing going into this. So it was like we were prepared for the call. And keep in mind, you had all the information you needed. The only thing you didn't have was how did you end up in this situation, which is the nuts and bolts of conversation. So not only had I not done the fucking compliance, uh, but then I had two people that I've become friends with texting me, freaking the fuck out about their calls, and their calls were before mine. Okay. And then the way it was set up is that you go get on camera 5 minutes before your call. And whenever the person enters the room, you just go, "Hey, Jessica. Yes, this is Jared with blah, 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 blah," right? So I'm reading the script, and the person and I'm not complaining. This isn't. I want to make sure everybody knows I'm not complaining. The girl that was on the other end of the call, like whatever her name is, that's my best friend in the world's boss. So does everybody understand? Does everybody understand? Like the person that I took a phone call from, that came into the room I sit, that's my best friend's boss. And so when I asked for information, she gave me like 7 different things as root causes. She gave me 7 different things for what happened, how do we get here type shit. She gave it to all of it. Like I imagine most of the time, here, you want me to tell you what I think the hypothetical thread the needle phone call is? Uh, over 45, $100,000 in unsecured debt, multiple divorces, has lost coveted items in recent hurricanes, fires, etc. Been living on credit cards as a result of having to move, from the area that they lived or whatever, right? Any whatever reason, right? She gave them all to me. So I write it all down in sticky notes, and I spit it back to her, and I pitch it. And along the way, essentially there's like a part of it where you have to put them on hold. And I figured before I put her on hold, I should make sure I didn't miss anything. I went back, recovered, said the thing I forgot, came back. Like I even butchered the I wouldn't even call it verbatim, just like the order of operations. I did shit out of order, but I did it all. And then was out of there in 25 minutes. Okay. So other than having to double back because I forgot to do something, I think I did great on the call. And then long story short, when at the end of the call, she said, "Oh, you'll hear pretty quickly how you did." I didn't hear anything for like 2 hours. So of course I'm in a fucking panic thinking I didn't do well enough. It just so happened that the person that interviewed me is my best friend's boss. So I text my best friend like, "Hey, I don't know what happened. I think I was supposed to get like an email saying how I did on the call." And he was like, "You haven't gotten anything? Oh, I'll call her right now." So he hangs up and calls her, and he's like, "Hey, how did Jared do?" And she was like, "Oh, I forgot to send that email." Yeah, he did really good. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any notes. He sounded really good. So then I get the email from my boss, like, "Hey, you passed." The fuck ever. And then the meeting, go to lunch. The meeting's at 2. Right. So I was holding my breath after that phone call, thinking I fucked something up. I didn't. It just happened that that was my like best friend's boss. He just called him up and was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Kick tire. What happened?" Oh shit. Yeah, no, he was fine. Then my That's how I talk about how rickety as ship life really is. Highest paying job I've ever got, ricketyest fucking shit ever. Let me tell you something. So I'm freaking out. And so I decide I'm gonna, until their systems stop working, I'm gonna try to get as much done as I can, right? And so I decided to do the compliance shit. And I actually got it the fuck done. I got all that compliance work done, and then I got the invitation and the email. Oh, oh. You'll get feedback pretty quickly on how you did. 2 hours later, and then the invitation for the afternoon meeting, and then the afternoon meeting, and my boss was pissed. Pissed. He was like, none of you did the compliance. So almost all the rest of my class had to do the compliance work. I was done. I'd gotten it done before the meeting. And it was because I felt bad. I worked through lunch. I thought I was getting fired. You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't had any communication from them. I figure I'd just work until they. What did you do in the meantime when you know what I mean? Like, what did you do in the meantime when you're, oh, I worked. I was trying to do the compliance shit. So not only did I do like a 3 hour compliance thing yesterday, right? Books, right? So not only did I have to do like a 4 hour compliance thing, then I had to take two tests. And the first test was a video test and it only had 12 questions, which is bizarre to have a test for a license that's only 12 questions. And then the test is like horribly written and punctuated and spelled, and there are whole words missing from questions. It would like in terms of worst tests I've ever taken in my life, this was number one worst test I've ever taken. So when I got a 9 out of 12 and I passed, I was like, fuck you. I'm gonna go take the 100 question test now. And so I had to take a 100 question test. And here's the worst part about it. I didn't hardly study for this at all because they said that there's 5 modules and you can just Google every answer. You can just control F every answer on every question. Nah, fam. No, you could do no such things, sir. So half the shit you try to Google it, not giving you an answer. So fortunate, your boy, what I realized was I can't rely on Google and Google search these terms. I have to turn my brain, and this is where your boy gets cocky. I want you all to know this is where your boy gets really cocky. This is where your boy gets cocky. This is where your boy gets super cocky. So about question 19, about question 19, I realized I can't Google this shit anymore. And instead of getting mad, I just turned the old brain on and said, I think we're just gonna read the question and we're gonna deduce the answer and we're just gonna get it the fuck right. Savvy? And and I knocked this shit out. Like I was like, yeah, went through blew that fucking test out. 88 out of 100, you better fucking believe that shit. I was out of here at like 5:20. Like, get me the fuck off the parking lot, bitch. What the fuck? I went in here. I was hot. I was so mad. I can't Google nothing. Like, no answers, no help. This shit was, oh, it was so fucking, oh, I can't Google nothing. This is awful. It's the worst way to die. Like I said, you had to turn that old brain on and just be like, nah, we're reading the questions, deducing the fucking answers. I'm getting this shit the fuck over with. 88 out of 100. Get me the fuck out of here. Clock me at. He's like, you can stick around till 7 reading your script. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I passed out on my couch by like 8 o'clock. Like, that was just so much of a day. It was so much of a fucking day. It was funny because it's a completely different mode when you can just Google the answer, right? Anybody can do that shit. But when you can no longer Google the answer, it's not because you're not going to get an answer. You're going to have to do a lot more work to cheat than if you just did the read the test. For the record, if I can get an 88 without studying at all, I'm just thinking there are a lot of people there are a lot of people that have asked, uh, I need a job. Well, that was the hurdle. I was gonna make that video, Jackie. I've been thinking about. I figure here's how I figure. Okay, right now a lot of what has happened is like him being real mean, right? People haven't really muerted yet. You know what I mean? Like once there's a food shortage and people, Jesus, trying to put Donald Trump on Mount Rushmore. Um, were you like that in school, Jared? Yes, yes. Procrastinate like a motherfucker, dicking around in class. Oh, I'm the worst. I had to focus on being a good teammate when I got this new job because I'm a fucking menace. Oh, I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm anti-authoritarianist. I don't know if anybody understands what it is like to be like anti-authority, and everywhere you go there's like an authority. You know what I mean? Like, oh my fuck. So yeah, when it came to school, I try to like not judge the teacher other than on like, are they doing their fucking job? Do I feel like I'm learning as a result of the curriculum they're presenting, however they're doing it? Am I getting good results in tests? Nah, but Lori, we talked about it. It's like the Hulk. That's the thing, Lori. I'm always angry, right? But anyway, so yeah, yes. If I stop dicking around and just focus on the task at hand, I tend to be pretty good at the task. Tests, like I always joked, in school because I could play dumb the whole time, then get the high score when the test came. hmm It's because you realize at the core of it all, having somebody being in. Didn't they get pardoned though? But yeah, once you realize that the core of authoritarianism is like fascism and fucking slave rule and shit like that. But in this industry, it's like read the script, make money. You know what I mean? And I don't have to lie to kick it. And what we're doing is actually fighting credit card companies. You know what I mean? We're it's us versus them. That's my job, which is perfect. That's where I want to be, positioned perfectly, potentially make big money, getting people to pay off their creditors, get out from underneath them. Morning, everybody. How many people's in here? I don't even know. Is it says 32 in here? That's awesome. All right, so the question I keep getting asked is when is the ICC or NATO gonna step in? And I gotta think the Canadian report on election interference drops on the 28th. Yeah, 32. I try not to focus on those numbers, but if every now and then, if we hit like a 50, 70, 90, 100, like let me know. Okay. Um, on the 28th, the Canadian report on election interference in the US 2024 US election drops. And then due to treaties signed by the US and like Canada and Mexico and shit, there's a reason Donald Trump it wants to make Canada like the 51st state and shit. And that's like on the forefront of his mind is he knows that like Canadian intelligence is going to absolutely expose what happened in this election. And there's nothing they can do to stop that. So look, I'm one of those people. I've tried to tell you, I try not to set poor expectations. I try to root ourselves in what really should happen here. And for the record, I think we've hit wonderfully when we this whole time. Everything that we've talked about has fucking happened. So as far as I'm concerned, I didn't say like I want to keep going over this because you want to remember history correctly. We weren't calling for mass arrests at the fucking inauguration. Not that's never what was coming out of our mouths. What I was saying this whole time, what I've been saying this whole time, whatever is safest. Whatever is safest. Whatever costs the least people. What costs the least people? What costs the least people is not making people any more afraid of government than they already are, more afraid of police than they already are. What I think has been carefully done here, and remember, I've said this whole time I felt like Donald Trump is patsy. Yeah, Alicia, yes. He wants the 14th Amendment gone. There's a reason he's attacking birthright men, and then he's going to try to get it removed as an amendment because of 14.3. He knows that's coming too. Remember that he's a fourth grader with dementia. So it's like he kind of has some idea what he's doing, but he keeps forgetting. Okay? Okay? But I want to make sure that I said whatever is safest is the correct answer. And I think the Canadian report comes out on the 28th. And then on the 3rd of February, that's I tried not even address that shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, he's taking all he's taking Black History Month away. Like, yeah, I know. Uh, yeah, it sucks to wait. And I'm Elijah. I'm of this thought process. As long as there aren't deaths, as long as there aren't like multiple suicides and like I can't do this anymore. Like the first person to set themselves on fire, right? Like, and it's like, all right, enough. Like, I'm over it. You know what I mean? Yes, yes. So keep in mind, a lot of people are starting to approach me about, have you looked at the Smart Elections website? Hey, we talked for at length about election interference and election poll results and polls and exit polls and confirmed long ago election interference, election fraud, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Just so everybody knows. Okay? Remember that there's a reason Lloyd Austin stepped down. Hear me. There's a reason Lloyd Austin stepped down. There's a reason Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, Christopher Wray stepped down. If they step down, from what I understand, I want to be corrected when I'm wrong. From what I understand, by them all stepping down, Donald Trump doesn't get to fire and replace them immediately because they step down, there's a delay between them people leaving post and the next guy starting a job because they all got to be confirmed first. And what Donald Trump is trying to do is he's trying to stop what's coming out of the DOJ by cutting the head off the snake. There's no head. There's orders of secession too that Joe Biden placed that says as Donald Trump hacks at the top of the tree, it just fills those rolls out. Tell me I'm wrong. And eventually, Donald Trump can't fire anyone. All that happened is going to come to light. It's going to happen in an order, and people are. It's like I said, until there are deaths. Until there are deaths. Remember, ICE got rebuked at a school, and they try to cover it. Media try to cover it up and say it was Secret Service. They got rebuked at a school. What? Yeah. Yes, Gina. We also know that. Did you know that JD Vance helped develop Project 2025 and that Peter Thiel funded the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 and that JD Vance and Peter Thiel are friends? Yeah. So what's going to happen is Canada is going to release their report, and then on February 3rd, I'm guessing the DOJ comes back with its results, and then things are gonna happen then, and then February 5th is the next date. Whatever he's doing will be undone. Yes, for sure. He nothing that he's done is binding either. Remember, plenty of what he's done has been illegal. JD gonna get dude's ding cut off. You're saying Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah, try not to get too attached to what Donald Trump does every day. It's meant to get you excited, make you feel repressed, and that, and the way you can fight it, it's just like I've said, instead of lashing out, right? Instead of calling for violent revolt, which is what plenty of people are trying to do. And that's what Russia wants. Russia wants American on American violence at all times. Okay? So what's in your best interest? What's in your best interest is to get 8 hours of sleep per night. Naps are fantastic. I almost took a nap before we got here. Yeah. Never surprised at what they're doing. Okay. Every single action feels hostile towards Americans, and it's just like, hey, right? Yeah, hold on to your money. My full on recommendation is to stop using meta tools. No Facebook, no threads, no IG. Get Facebook Messenger off of your phone. Hey, and get rid of TikTok. Get that shit the fuck off your phone. I'm not posting any more original content on TikTok. It'll all be made and posted to YouTube first. And so I want to clarify what that means. I may upload a video on YouTube that I also upload on TikTok, but I'm no longer using TikTok to put that video out. It will all come from YouTube first. Okay? And then all of my other content is Blue Sky, right? And we co-stream live on Clapper. Okay? So, Alicia, yes, get a VPN. For sure. Get a VPN. Yep. Okay? So like we said, no Meta tools, no Facebook, no IG, no Threads. Get Facebook off, get Messenger off your phone, get WhatsApp off your phone. Carla Stevens said, "Am I correct in remembering that under the executive order that Biden could have stayed in office until March because someone said no, that isn't true?" Uh, no. So there was no. You got to have meet certain conditions to declare war, and that was the circumstance that with which Joe Biden could have stayed in power effectively, is to declare war on Russia, which again, how many people does that cost? Many people. So if it, I've said, yeah, too many casualties. I've said from the get-go, the modus operandi for being the leader of like a multi-hundred million person country is to minimize unnecessary casualties, especially when you're in charge of the military. So Joe Biden absolutely could have declared war on Russia, committed assets to on the ground, in the air, whatever, to fight and dissuade Russia from further escalation. But here's what I can tell you. They pose far less a threat than we think, technologically, militarily. They're far weaker a target than we think. And so, as a result of fucking finding out by investing in Ukraine's military, we found out that Russia's not shit. That the United States does still have a unbiased, by the way, don't care who the president is, care what the Constitution says, U.S. military. That Donald Trump cannot really mobilize. That's not under his purview. So understand that. That as a result of like 2016, 2020, the US military's function has changed. So understand, like when you're the commander in chief and there's a whole playbook that was written before you came into office, they're going to let you get into office and they'll let you commit to that playbook until it costs American lives. And again, I've said this whole fucking time, and if you've been watching my content this whole time, this isn't new. If it costs one person, it's a matter of national security. If it costs one person internationally, it's a matter of international security. hmm I thought it was under until they come up with it. No, no. So understand that the report comes out right. What's going to happen is the reports are going to come out from all the organizations. The arrests will be made. Justice will be served on the people that did wrong. Donald Trump, at some point, the 14th Amendment, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. There's not enough, and also don't fall for that propaganda where Donald Trump pardoned all these people and all these people left jails and shit. The fuck they didn't. They also got state charges for a lot of shit they did. So if you know, and I'm exaggerating the numbers, but he pardoned 1,500 people. Well, 1,432 of them are still in jail. So yeah, fortunately, some people got out. Yes, still think they flipped him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, he's committed treason there, giving aid or comfort to the enemy thereof. He pardoned January Sixers. It was part of the Project 2025 plan, right? Well, it's crazy. Like we went around the world helping everybody else unfuck their elections, but not for us. How wild is that shit? Mm-hmm. So We got into the show before we listened to War. We should make sure we do that. So as we said, take care of yourself. Get 8 hours of sleep. Take a nap. Drink water. Eat right. Exercise. Split your workouts. Right. Yeah. Everybody thought I was being funny. You know what I mean? The motherfucker committed legit treason. And now they're practicing rewriting history. Right. History's written by the victors. They're trying to challenge Wikipedia. Whoa. Hmm. Gotcha. What is good? It's shit that should wake you up. It should radicalize the fuck out of you. You know, you should hear you should hear of a Marine Corps infantry veteran cry out, "This motherfucker committed treason." It should fucking like, hey man, it's broad daylight, and everybody else is bending the fucking knee. And I just want to point out, I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, right? It's not like I'm saying anything and I'm in a safe spot. You know what I mean? I'm in the belly of the beast. Right. Oh, you may be able to get away with that shit elsewhere, but you ain't doing that shit here. You might want to put a gas mask on, asshole. War. Hmm. But I think that they have to let him commit treason. I think that again, it's not enough. It's not enough to have conspiracy to commit treason. It's not enough. It's not enough to have conspiracy to commit genocide. You understand? Well, mass deportation is genocide. Is punishable under the ICC, The Hague. That's where he's headed. Good for that water valve opening for Cali, right? Right. A lot of things have to be in the works. Because here's my thing. Here's my thing. Here's the alternate reality that we live in. Okay. So if they're not gonna fight for democracy, why didn't they get pardoned? Why didn't Kamala and Joe and Jack and Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray, why didn't they all pardon themselves and get the fuck out of Dodge and just leave us to fend for ourselves? Right? Why why did that? And I think it's because they will be character witness, material witness, evidential witnesses in the crimes filed against Donald Trump as a result of the reports coming out where they had him. They got him. They just had to let him follow through with it because he had a book. Yeah. Yeah. The Lemkin Institute issued a red alert for genocide in the United States. I want to keep saying, been saying it out loud. Genocide is a crime against humanity according to the International Criminal Court. This and conspiracy to commit genocide is absolutely on the fucking table. And you can't act like it's just Donald Trump either. And with the hands of justice, yeah, yeah. The way Donald Trump's eventually, uh, he'll definitely be held accountable. I know it sucks to feel like he hasn't been held accountable, but that's just not true. I think they had him on more heinous crimes, and as long as you know that he'll do it, you gotta let him commit the crimes. Nunya said, "I'm sure many have pulled off Facebook, TikTok, Amazon, etc. Do you have any proof it's impacting the formats?" You know what? It's impacting my quality of life. And Nunya, I want to answer your question and say that it has. And I want to, in the same breath, I'm sure it has an impact, but my quality of life improvement is far more valid to me. So yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that I'm sure we're moving the needle. I feel great. I don't feel so attached to my phone, Feel like I had to document my entire life to everybody all the fucking time, right? So, yeah, feel so much better. I was a consumer for a long time, just consuming. If it wasn't Twitter, if I wasn't doom scrolling Twitter, I was doom scrolling TikTok. If I wasn't doom scrolling Twitter and TikTok, it was Reddit. If it wasn't doom scrolling Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit, I'm doom scrolling Facebook, IG, Threads, right? And you get to the point where you got like 17 different fucking applications that you're just doom scrolling the fuck out of. And at some point, you've got to decide, where am I going to put my attention? Because I can't keep stretching it out to the next application. I can't give myself. I don't know about anyone else. I'm a married man. If you get what I'm saying, I'm not about whoring myself around. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to limit the places I give my energy, right? There's a reason we co-stream, because it gives us an alternative for, like, when my home internet shits on us and we have to go cell only, we can just go to Clapper, right? So I got an audience of people on Clapper. Say what's up, everybody on Clapper. Hey, say what's up to the chat right there. Can you see my hand? Can you see me? That's the chat. See? Chat. Say hi to chat. Okay. So because that's the coolest thing ever to happen on a podcast. But there's Clapper chat talking to YouTube chat. And so to me, it's the same. Should be the same show. You just get a little different angle, right? Ultimately, as news comes down, that is the needle moving, right? Like here, already they're talking about impeaching fucking Donald Trump. Okay, again, thrice impeach. Okay, uh, they're talking about Mitch McConnell opposing Hegseth on the final vote, and then being in a subcommittee. Okay, where it's funny. being in a subcommittee where he'll oppose everything Hegseth does. That's correct. A former major. Right. Like what is this shit? Donald Trump has ordered federal prisons to house transgender women in men's facilities and halt their gender-related health care and says there will be rapes. The fuck is what? This is just openly hostile shit. I posted a link in the chat on YouTube. That's one of the downside of Clapper. The downside of Clapper is I can't share the article, but I did share the article in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. LGBTQ Nation posted. How can the president that doesn't qualify for security clearances revoke people's security clearances? That can't be legal. Donald Trump ended Anthony Fauci's security detail, so Anthony will have to privately pay for his own detail. That's actually probably a good thing because if Donald Trump's in charge of the security detail that tails Anthony Fauci, how does that not end up in violence, right? So now Fauci gets to disconnect from the security detail controlled by Donald Trump and get his own. Okay. God damn. And Tom Hartman's podcast talking about millions of votes not counting. Okay. Shocking proof Donald Trump rigged the 2024 election. Late last night, Donald Trump fired at least 12 independent inspector generals, but those are all illegal firings. I want everyone to know that. You can't actually do that. You got to give them a 30-day notice. And then the first thing I saw this morning that I was like, I'm gonna end up sharing that with chat is JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are pushing back on calls to remove DEI from companies' programs and saying that's not good for your business. So I just want to make sure that we understand all the corporations that bent the fucking knee and removed DEI programs from their company. You have to understand that is evidentiary, not a reason not to support them. So if they bent the fucking knee, you don't support that, right? You definitely want to do business with companies that did not bend the knee, right? JP Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs. So that's like investment firms. Yeah. There is apparently a protest here. on February 5th, your state capital. So I'm 100% behind a nonviolent protest. I've gone out to protest. The problem I'd have with protesting downtown Indianapolis is that you have to pay to park anywhere near downtown, and Aldi's good too. Yeah, yep. Now we shop at Meyer, which isn't on any lists. So, but yeah, I wanted to let everyone know, like yesterday was probably the most stressful single day of work ever. That was comparable to like the fucking crucible in the fucking Marine Corps. Like a battery of employment required tests all on one day. If you make it, you live. If you miss it, you die. With all this shit going on, it cooked me, man. I was unconscious early evening. Need a tune. So a lot of people have been asking me about working from home and saying I got to do something. Oh, cashed out. My wife made dinner. We had dinner. I sat on the couch to pet the dogs. Was loving on the animals. My wife was like, "Why don't you go to bed?" I woke up at 10 o'clock in the living room by myself. Yeah. So if you need a new job, if you're tired of busting your ass for somebody for no money, and you want to make some real motherfucking money, if you recognize you need a, hey, I'm gonna speak very hood like for a few seconds. If you feel like you're backed into a corner and that there's no other way out than to fight, and you need a job where you can make money enough to protect yourself, and you have questions, I'm not gonna make it a big part of my content about talking about guns and shit when it comes to self-defense. Remember, I told you to fuck focusing on a gun, focusing on fitting in the body armor. You might want to get yourself a riot shield before you think about a gun. You gotta have some strength to be able to use a firearm. You go into this with a lack of preparation in that moment where you want to defend yourself, you aren't going to be strong enough to do it. There's a method to my madness. There's a reason I tell you to get 8 hours of sleep, hydrate, eat right, exercise. You might need a gas mask. Okay. So if you need a job so that you can afford that stuff, that's a couple $1,000s worth of equipment to protect yourself. Okay. Company I work for offers work from home. You can make a bunch of money. You could defend yourself if you're not making a bunch of money right now. Okay, hit me up if you need it. Hey, do it. Okay. And in addition to that, We're getting there. How about Aerials by System of a Down? I think that's a good song. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if any of you've ever been to a System of a Down concert. Welcome, Danielle. Hell yeah. Yeah. You run the thing I try to tell the kids I coach is that you're far stronger and faster than your predecessors because your predecessor had to do the run and the lift all in one workout, and it's going to limit how good you are overall than if you just split your list. House of Blues, Alicia said. So everybody's been asking me what I think about all the military flying and all the drones and shit. System of a Down aerials. Put up a walls. I keep getting notifications from Discord. Just like that sub that imploded. Handle the same on Discord. Why are you trying to join the Discord? Yeah. Best show ever. House of Blues. Tool at the Pantages is pretty good too. Likely Alien. Sorry, I was looking for the button. So yeah, you got February 5th after the what looks like the 90-day mark. Okay. Um I'm gonna keep hitting this up because it's something that we should hit up when we're right and I give up because I don't want to fight. I gotta know that I'm right more. I gotta trust my fucking ability to read words and decipher information and give it to my audience confidently. And I gotta take when people question me not as them disagreeing, but I gotta learn to take it more in stride. Because what I did was I didn't misinform my audience, but I changed the expectation because I wanted the audience to not see me like losing it. He doesn't agree with the consensus, right? Because it felt like the consensus was 45, 30, 45. I'm just putting it out here, okay? And I had said it's 45, 45, 30. I don't know what everybody's getting all riled up for. And I'd said conspiracy to commit a crime is not nearly as damning as actually fucking committing the crime is. And as long as it doesn't cost people, meaning people die, they'd much rather get you on doing it than conspiracy to do it. Good to go. And that's kind of been what I've been saying this whole time, right? Everybody wants to talk about um, what Donald Trump's doing, and what I'm saying, what he's doing can all be reversed. It sucks that he's doing it. It's depressing as fuck that he's doing it. But the reality is, he knows just like I know, just like you know, we know. The hands of justice do not move swiftly. What was done in the dark will come to the light. Actions have consequences. And I just want to point out how bad this would have been if the Democrats had come out and said anything. Just so you know. And they're starting to talk now. Okay? I saw Alicia Keys on that podcast with Jon Stewart talking shit about Joe Biden. Talking about where was that energy for the last fucking 2 years and shit. Um, yeah, yeah. Understand treason and how you get tried and shit's a lot different when you're commander in chief. So they had to let him be the president and start doing stuff because now he's commander because the military tribunal is in play, right? So like I said, I think you could spend your time focusing on all these bills he signs, letting it drag you down, or you can live your life and take care of yourself and understand that a lot of what he's done is illegal. A lot of it's going to get challenged, and that ultimately justice is coming. Just like fucking Kamala Harris very clearly said as she walked by a camera to go to the inauguration. So any actions taken that result in actions taken, understand they're illegitimate as fuck. And I'm willing to bet Gavin Newsom stuck the knife hand into Donald Trump's chest and said, "You may be able to get away with that shit everywhere else, but you do that shit here, I'll knock you the fuck out. You ain't fucking around with me like that. Welcome to California, motherfucker. Be trapped on a 405 for 5 minutes of your life and tell me you're gonna let Donald Trump come into California and fuck with people whose lives are at stake in these fires out here." Okay? I can promise you, if there wasn't cameras right up on him, it's because Gavin Newsom was reading him to filth right to his fucking face. You may be able to act like that everywhere the fuck else you go, but you act like that shit around me and I'll knock you out so fast and make your fucking eyes spin. I don't like it, Don. Don't give me no trouble. Mm-mm. Not if you're trying to stay upright, boy. Yeah. Try for 2, 3 charges in military court. Yep. Because I promise you, Gavin Newsom ain't kissing no ass. That's just not his style. And remember that sanctions precede indictments. And so what's still to yet to come are those indictments that come from those investigations and arrests, and that affects communication. And here's the thing about Donald Trump and Elon Musk's followers: they wait with a bated breath, and if those men were to disappear from social media and not constantly be there to give them instructions, chaos. Absolute chaos. They would lose their identities. They'd no longer. That's part of the reason that all this has happened is because it's not only are Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all them dangerous as fuck, it's their fucking fanboys. Jeez. Hey, I said absolute power corrupts absolutely. You knocking, Taylor? What's up? What, you trying to come in here or what? Mhm. Yep. And my mods have become obsessed with military flights around the U.S. Yeah, they're already fighting amongst themselves. Kissing the cheek was all Gavin needed. You're right. They just needed somewhere to lay down together. But yeah, again, I'm gonna post this link in the chat. There's a 50 protests, 50 states, one day, February 5th, 2025. Okay, that is the Wednesday after next. Okay, state capitals. Demand representation for freedom of speech, racial equality, election integrity, women's rights, LGBTQ+, public and health and safety, gun violence, climate change, wealth equality. Both, yeah. State capital. State capital. You want to be part of the resistance? Okay. Right. So that's one of the reasons I won't be posting content anymore on TikTok. Not original content anyway. It'll all be reposts. So if I have a particularly hot video on YouTube, I might throw it onto TikTok. TikTok is now a meta tool, effectively. So I don't use Facebook, Threads, IG, uh, Messenger, TikTok. I'm off them. Once you realize that they require you to be a consumer first, they require you to just sit and do nothing and just scroll. And how freeing it will be once you get rid of those applications, how freeing it will be to not be connected to them anymore. I mean, it was awfully freeing for me to get off of Twitter, and I loved Twitter, but eventually, mods, I think Sonia might need an invitation to the. I think Sonia might need an invitation to Discord. Right, there was a white supremacist march at the White House. Bob, that also wasn't Melania. In case you wondered, I showed my wife. Missed the recipe. We just get HelloFresh, so they send you the recipe, you know? But yeah. I don't think it's over. Too much hanging in the balance. They did too much hanging ons and keep the faiths and dropping the, you know, truthisms, often strength is blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's a body double for sure. Because Melania don't have a butt chin, and and HelloFresh is awesome. Yeah. You typically would invite someone to Discord that has the same interests as the chat in your Discord. That's already watching your show. Just trying to be nice. People are weird. Like you have the same interests that the Mondriarchy does. Your request for a house showing to cleaning. Oh my gosh. One of the members of my Discord is in the process of moving. Right? Why would you drop all those Easter eggs if you weren't going to do anything? There was no recourse, you know? Yeah, I agree. Why would you say anything? Why wouldn't you do anything but try to prepare people, right? Hey, get solar panels, get wind, water power, grow your own gardens, create community, right? Like lean on each other, it's going to be a rough time, why wouldn't they be doing that? If it's over, what democracy's over, oh, he's going to undo all the progress, like why would they have 250 countries monitor our election? Why, you know what I mean? Why would he put out orders of secession? She was mesmerized. I think that's every Melania Trump, even the body doubles. They get around real men and their heart about jumps out of their fucking chest. Because this flaccid piece of shit. I always think about how is anybody consensually fucking Donald Trump, only taking it from behind, only in the dark, right? I I feel like that's a legit question. Like, how is anybody fucking him? Only from behind, only in the dark. There's no way you're doing that with the lights on, right? And he got a teeny weeny peeny. It's unfortunate for him. I actually have known multiple men just like Donald Trump. Little ass dick, no game at all. Can never just date normally. You got to be sort of predatory. Many a time you had to like drag him out of a public place. It's like 3 a.m. at a bar, bro. This is not a good time to be hunting. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like peeling your meal out of a dumpster. You know what I mean? Like, just go home. When hell's NATO gonna act? Yeah, that's why so much compensating is going on. He's about to fall over. I know you don't want to think about it. There's a reason that Melania has a body double. It's because real Melania cannot stand Donald Trump. And he wears lifts in his fucking shoes, yeah. Because if nothing's done, then this whack ass shit is what's taken over, right? Melania, like Malays, Melania. Now that he's in office doing all this horrible shit, like I said, and Trump, Donald, Donald. Oh, and when people wanted to ask, was there any evidence that our protest is working? Elon Musk said our user growth is stagnant, revenue is unimpressive, and we're barely breaking even. So yeah, the Twitter, it took less than a year to get it to where Twitter's no longer profitable. So if anybody wondered, did the boycotts work within a year? Yes, is the fucking answer. The boycotts legit work. If you decide to do business elsewhere, other than Facebook, Threads, IG, Messenger, Twitter, TikTok, you decide to do business elsewhere, it takes a year. And in a year, Twitter's no longer profitable. Okay? The Russian dude on Rocky 4. Right. Okay? So I get it. It sucks, man. It's better for you and I to control what we can control, to get 8 hours of sleep, to take naps where available, to exercise, to eat right, to hydrate, right? These are all things you can control. Because getting bent out of shape, everything that Donald Trump has done and is doing, knowing full well justice is coming. That you just don't get away with shit. The Justice Department does not fucking miss. Too many smart people that work for the Justice Department. And again, one of the things I want to keep saying, you can't martyr Elon Musk or Donald Trump. Martyr. Okay? Right, Angela? Okay. So get your ducks in a row. Your expectations on the level. January 28th, February 3rd, March 5th. Okay. There's a nationwide protest on February 5th at your state capital. Okay. So 28th, 3rd, 5th, March 10th. Bing, bang, boom. And that's what we need to be talking about every day. And stop thinking about, whoa, what's going to happen today? Who gives a fuck? Live your life. Live your life. Let the reports come out. Let justice be handled. We're going to put this shit past us at some point. I hope the fucking God it ain't 4 years from now, because I don't think we'll last that long. They start cutting Medicaid, Medicare benefits, and people start starving to death and shit in the streets. Oh, riots. Riots. All those poor people that voted for Donald Trump, the moment their benefits don't hit and they can't get their meds anymore, all those, that agreement that Donald Trump signed that made medication cost more money, you don't think that don't cost people? Yeah. You think that don't cost people? You don't think they're trying to get themselves killed? Because that's what I feel like they're doing. They're trying to martyr themselves because they know they weren't smart enough to get away with it, that they got caught. But what they did was they laid a blueprint on the table and said, look at where we got doing it this way. All we got to do is cross our I's and dot our T's, right? All we got to do is get a little tighter at our game plan, and we can win elections forever. And for right now, it sucks because it looks like they won. I don't think that's what's going to come down the pipe. Justice for everyone else, election integrity for everyone else but the United States. What kind of a fucked up shit is that? Right? There ain't no fucking way, boy. You know what I mean? But like I said, control what you can control. Stop doing business with your oppressors. It's bad enough they're oppressors, but to also give them your money and your time and your attention when you can be doing something else. You know, it's like don't eat Taco Bell, eat at the local Mexican restaurant, right? Do business locally, save your money, spread your money around. I'd rather you have 5 accounts with $200 than one account with $1,000 in it. Good to go? And of course, here's Eat the Rich by Aerosmith to close us out. Control what you can control. Handle your business. Farmers markets, exactly. About how many bills? I'm sick of my bitching about your poodles and your pills. Have a good day. Ding! Here's a link. Former founder and former CEO of San Francisco technology company and attorney indicted for years-long fraud schemes. Hmm. Here's the impeach Trump campaign. Bob said $800 and I can do it all day. So for $800 a day, I'll do it all day, every day. There's only one thing is very good for eat the rest. Come down my big black mom. Eat the rest. Stop my chest. Eat the rest. And $800 a day is a quarter million a year. 1,600 technically, if you want to, yeah. Because that's what I would be giving up. I'd be giving up a job where I expect to make in the range of a quarter million. Not yet. CIA believes COVID-19 pandemic was the result of an accidental lab leak in China. Pretty much what we thought it was all along. The leopards are eating my face. Party are eating face. Hey, wear a mask, by the way. Hey, love y'all. Wear a mask. Wear a mask if you leave your house. Understand deportation is a crime against humanity according to the ICC. Yep. See ya. See ya.